Welcome to Tiny TV. Welcome back. I have with me now Julian, Casablancas, and Albert Hammond Jr. of The Strokes. Say cheers, guys.
Go.
Cheers, guys.
I'm sitting in my attic in Copenhagen right now, freezing my butt off. It's snowing outside. Where in the world are you guys right now?
I'm in New York. Albert is, I'm gonna go with LA.
Yeah, I was gonna go with off the grid, but yes, I'm in LA.
Bi-coastal elitists.
Nice. We're going to talk a lot about your recent studio album, The New Abnormal, and what a fitting title for an album released in the year 2020. One of the things I notice a lot about The Adults Are Talking and on the album in general is your voice, Julian. There are places where your voice has the least vocal effects and plugins I've ever heard on The Strokes. It's more raw and it's very upfront, your face. Was this more clean vocal sound something that you had an urge to do specifically, or was it just Rick Rubin doing his Rick Rubin thing?
I think Rick Rubin doing his Rick Rubin thing. I definitely always view vocals as like part of the instrumentation. I mean, it's like, like the lead instrument of the melody, like even if you think of classical music and like Moonlight Sonata, like there's the melody is essentially just kind of like the high part. So I think I view, and I like, vocals that have personality and they can be raspy, and whether it's Rod Stewart or Bob Marley, I feel like the tone of it is should be human and full of emotion and all that, but I do view it as an instrument, and so I always kind of tend to like it more kind of just blended into the painting. And I think Rick Rubin likes vocals super loud and super clean and that's definitely not my thing, but I mean we're working with him, and I like to think of myself as relatively open-minded. So I mean we tug of war a little bit. I would have probably put it a little lower, but yeah, I mean we're working with Rick, so I want to respect how he wants to do things.
Are you happy with the end result, vocal-wise?
That's a tough question. My knee-jerk reaction is to say no, because it's like saying like it's not because I don't like it or think it's good. I just it's like if someone put a giant painting of your face in a room and someone was like, "Do you like this painting?" I don't know. It's like I prefer the like blurry black and white picture of myself, but it's not like an artistic criticism. It's it's more just it's like funny because if you listen to songs, you think like Rod Stewart. I was thinking, I mentioned his name because of like this, Young Turks, probably his biggest song, and you listen to the vocal level and you'd think people when they mixing are always like, they always put vocals so loud, and I get it. And it helps with popularity and stuff sometimes, but think of the vocal level of that song, it's pretty kind of buried. You can still hear his like raspy, great voice, but do you know what I mean? It's not like, and I think, I don't know, that's kind of my spirit guide. So it's not where I would put it, but I'm not, it doesn't make me cringe or I don't want to change it or anything. If that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. But it is, as I said, like my new favorite Strokes album. So the tug of war thing, I don't care who won because the result is just really good. I also want to talk a bit. Yeah, sorry.
Rick won.
Okay. Well,
I mean, from a band perspective, though, too, like I understand what Julian's saying and agree love that too, but I also love where it is. And I think, you know, maybe because I'm outside of it, you have a great voice, and to be in a band and you have that voice and to hear it like that, I don't know, it's exciting for me. So that angle of it.
Yeah, I'm just always interested in, I think people would call it melody, but for me, I just consider it harmony. Like it's always like the way, you know, the bass and melody are bouncing off of each other, and the notes in between, what that does to it. I think that's where all the power is generated for me when I listen to music. And even if I'm listening to like a mix of like a classical song, you know, sometimes like when they put the violins too loud and it's like, you know, but I like, you know, recordings from the 1920s when it's just kind of like the harmonies are like crushed together and it becomes this like fuzzy blurb of, you know, a harmony ball. And that's really what kind of moves me personally. But anyway.
Maybe we can make harmony balls on the next one.
That's definitely the name of the new album.
Oh yeah, that would be. Then you have something to do in this isolated lockdown period. Do a new album.
Or a good
like
band
that.
name, Harmony Balls. But
I did like what you said though. That makes so much sense and is very, very true. It's like giving me a new perspective on that. Maybe if we're all in the room doing it, it's like easier to like fine tune stuff, you know?
it's almost like a chord itself. Sometimes when you play a chord a certain way, the way the notes hit each other, it's not like a single note, it becomes its own thing. It's like flavor of food. Sometimes like really good dishes, like they're flavors that you know, but then when they mix together, it becomes this new flavor that you've never tasted before. And I think, and I just feel that way about like tracks and sometimes like, you know, like old ska music comes to mind where it's just like the drums and the bass and it's all like, it like melts together and it becomes this thing that you can't even describe, but that's always what moves me the most.